but I went to a wedding there, an amazing wedding. And the wedding was fantastic. But there's no but I reconnected with this old friend who I hadn't seen in a while. And we ended up having this intense conversation on the dance floor. And basically, we have like totally different views of what equity looks like. And he's not into diversity and inclusion being a thing.
Trumper?
Yeah, definitely. Not into trans rights. And we talked about it extensively and intensely. And I didn't lose my mind and I didn't get upset, even though it was upsetting the things he was saying, like that he doesn't think racism exists,
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, the good thing about it was that we had a conversation and it was respectful and there was even some humor in it, crazily. And we remained sort of like friendly throughout the whole weekend. So in a way it was kind of great because that's what's missing right now, like having those conversations when you feel so differently.
Yeah.
But it's also like rattling,
Definitely. I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. He doesn't believe in DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. Is this person white?
Mm-hmm.
So he's a white man who's like from New York, now living somewhere else. I mean, has he always had these kind of views? Was it like quite shocking to you?
I don't know. Maybe he has always had these views. I don't know. No one talked about any of this in the way we're talking about it now before, this current administration.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think that's a lot because also, like, I always find it really weird when people say, like, oh, they don't believe in DEI or whatever, because, I mean, if you think about the people who have benefited from DEI the most, it's actually white women. If you look at the statistics, like Forbes have done a whole poll on it. So it's interesting that, in a way, I feel like people of color are the ones who are like mostly connected to it, but actually in terms of who's benefited from it, it's mostly been white women. So that's also something that's kind of crazy. But then also you're talking about equity here. It's like as if we all start from the same starting point. Like we all know that. Like there's loads of figures to like suggest like pay gaps. There's so much about what he's saying, which is like inaccurate.
It is inaccurate.
It's very emotional. It's not really grounded.
Is it even emotional?
I think it's emotional because it's not based on anything that's real. It's just based on his like ideas, which is like essentially it's like to protect himself, right?
Well, he was like, I believe in America being a meritocracy. And I said, I do too.
Lols.
And he said, I don't think like brown and black people, it benefits them to get handouts. And it's just like, but we're not all at the starting line. there have been laws to repress black people.
Course,
Plus, oh my God, slavery. Like we're like, to crawl back from slavery is an intense, heartbreaking, crushing thing.
But
and
even
I just
the
don't.
60s,
How
were
do
you
you explain
weren't
that to
able to
someone,
like, I mean,
I feel dumb having to explain it.
Totally, and you shouldn't even have to explain it. I mean, I think it's fucking shocking.
Yeah.
I think
Or
it's
not.
well, it's someone who you knew, and he's just like brazenly saying stuff that's inaccurate and basic and like parroting.
Yeah.
So it's really hurtful, I think. You know what I mean? Like, how did you feel? Did you like, when you said you felt rattled, like, I mean, there's only so much that you can talk to this guy,
right? Well, I've just learned that you can't change someone's mind, and I don't try to anymore. I just say what I think. So, and it was we were at a wedding, so it was just an interesting experience, and I'm glad it happened. And I still respect him as a person.
You do?
I mean, he's a person. He's a human being. I respect all human beings. I don't wish him harm.
Yes.
I hate that he thinks that, but I'm glad we could talk.
Yeah. I think that's really, really, I think you've got like a good attitude. You're right. From a human like perspective.
He's still a human. I hope he thinks people are all human, like.
Well, I don't know.
That's what's missing right now.
I think
we're all human.
Totally. I don't think he probably does. But you know what? He's like in his own world, and he's not a curious person.
Yeah.
Clearly. But it is upsetting though.
And it was upsetting.
Yeah.
But the wedding was
lovely.
Awesome. And it was like a big gay fun wedding, so that
that
boosted my spirits.
Totally. Also, weddings always bring out the crazies. You know what I mean? There's
Do they?
Always, oh my God, so much. It's definitely like a UK thing. You always sat next to someone
people get wasted or what?
Well, definitely. But then there's also, you just bring together like such random people.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It's like someone's
Right,
like
drama happens. Yeah.
someone's uncle,
Right.
someone's like weird cousin, you know what I mean? The bro who's like
Right.
only knows people who like look like him, you
Right.
know, like basic bro. So I feel like it's quite like that, you know?
Yeah.
And I
Par
mean, it
for the
always
course.
happens. Yeah, like someone just like will say a racist comment or like anti-Semitic comment. There's always like something like weird
Right.
that happens, even if it's beautiful. So is that your first time of experiencing craziness at a wedding?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm usually like ripping shots and yeah.
Oh, wow. No. Maybe that says something about like Americans and, as you said, like talking to each other
Yeah.
or like being exposed. I mean, I've experienced some like real crazy stuff at weddings.
What's the craziest?
Wow. I've had like quite like racist stuff at
Really?
a wedding. Yeah, but it's normally when you like leave London.
Wait, like what? Like what?
It was a while ago. I had someone who. Okay, so it's a funny one. You know when someone says like, "Where are you from?"
Yeah.
Do you have that whole thing in America? Where it's
Yeah.
like, what are they getting at?
Yeah, what are they getting at?
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes, depending on how it's said,
Yeah.
I will be generous with them.
Okay,
But
yeah,
if
yeah.
someone says it in a way that feels and that is a little derogatory, like, "Where are you from?"
Oh.
Then I'm not gonna like give you what you want.
Right. And what will you say? You'll say
So I was like,
London. and
exactly,
walk
because
away,
I'm
yeah.
from London.
Right.
And then it was like an older lady, not super old, but like an old lady. This was so long ago. I mean, this was like 10 years ago, more
Yeah.
than that. And then she was like, "No, but where are you really from?" Which is like classic. I
Were
was
you
like,
offended by that question? Because you know what? I'm not offended by it because
Yeah.
I always want to know
Yeah.
what someone's heritage is.
Totally. I said for me, it's the tone.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
Yeah.
Like if someone is like curious and like interested and you can tell
You can
there's like
tell.
actual interest rather than like where can I place you look.
Right.
And I feel like we're good at like judging that.
Totally.
And this woman was being rude to me,
Yeah.
basically, and like a bit othery, and like
Yeah.
she was from like some weird part of the home counties,
Oh,
which I
she's
won't
British
like go
too.
into.
She's British
yeah, British. Just some like older white lady
Right.
who was just like just too basic. I just thought, and she wasn't being nice.
She wasn't being
I
nice.
could tell
Yeah,
the tone,
you can always
right? I
tell.
wasn't being sensitive, and so I wasn't going to give her what she wanted. And I said London. And then she's like, "No, but where are you really from?" And I was like, "What do you mean? The UK?" And then she's
Nice.
like, "You're clearly not from this country.
Oh my
Where are you
God.
from?" I know it's so hilarious now looking back, but like you see, she's not
Right.
being generous.
No, yeah.
Like you're
Right.
clearly not from this country. So
Right.
like I have this accent, but I'm not quite British enough, right?
So
okay.
crazy.
So that's how I knew that she was an idiot.
Right.
And not very nice. And then I said to her, "Are you asking me why my skin color is the way that it is?"
No way. Did you say that?
I did.
Oh, good. I'm glad
I
you said
did. I
that.
just had to draw it out.
Good,
And she was
yeah.
like, "Oh, yeah."
You know what? Drawing it out is the key because then
Yeah.
you realize how stupid you sound.
Yeah. But also, it just reinforced my point of like, she was trying to other me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
But it did take quite a lot of like energy. Afterwards, I was like really annoyed by that like
No.
horrible woman.
You're there to party and have fun.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm a little more resilient now. What I do think, though, when it comes to those kinds of like racial, like microaggressions, like racial bits and bobs, sometimes I feel like racial bits and bobs.
Rachel Bits and Bob sounds so lovely with your accent.
Sometimes I feel like I wish I was more resilient. And I think it's because I grew up in London where everyone was different, or you know someone who's different. And so you just grew up all together, right? Of all different backgrounds.
Right.
So I was like protected.
Right.
I didn't really see
You
or
weren't the
hear
only
much.
black person.
No
That's
way.
your-
It's
right.
not even that. Like everyone was like mixed or
Right.
like white, black. We were all like hanging out together, different religions and things like that. Loads of people with mixed identities. So you would never really hear that. I mean, you knew it from like the older generation, like my mum's generation. There used to be signs saying no blacks, no Irish, no dogs
right.
and things like that. Like I knew of it, and you learn about discrimination with statistics
Right.
with police, etc. But like I never experienced it. Whereas if I think about my friends who grew up like in the countryside who are black, they are so much more resilient. I get like so outraged when I hear racism or someone's like super ignorant,
Right.
like that person you're talking about.
Because you were in this like protected
Yeah.
melting pot.
But they have like dealt with it
Yeah.
the friends from the countryside, so they're like so much more chill about it,
Right.
or like they're good at like preserving their energy.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
for
yeah.
me, it like really rattles me. Do you feel like that's something with you because you grew up in New York, right?
I feel like I'm good at preserving my energy too because I'm kind of more like them. I grew up in Manhattan,
Oh,
but I went to this ritzy private school on scholarship. All my
wow.
friends were white.
Oh my
I was the only
gosh.
black person in my grade for like a couple years even.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy
In
looking
New
back.
York.
In New York, yeah. Well, private school, Upper East Side.
Yeah.
But it was my normal. So I wasn't unhappy. I felt normal. I mean, looking back, I'm like, oh, there are things. It's like when you don't see other people who look like you,
Yeah.
like in positions of authority, that
Yeah.
obviously affects you,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
back then I was happy and ignorant of
But
that.
but did you experience racism there?
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't have
Okay.
called it that at the
Yes.
time, but
Yes.
looking back,
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe that's like a difference of you just being like having that resilience. I'm just like outraged.
Well,
I'm just like,
but it is
how dare
outrageous.
you? Yeah, but I think like, thinking about the soft life, we need to think about we're taking someone's energy on like their own shit. I'm outraged. Do I need to like call that
I
person out all
know.
the
Do you need to
time?
engage even?
Do I need to engage? Yeah,
Because you're not
exactly.
it's not our job or anyone's job to
Yeah.
change someone's mind.
Yeah.
But it is your job to sort of defend what you believe is true
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
decent and generous, right?
But do they deserve that even? That's the thing sometimes. I mean, if it's like someone else I can always sometimes tell as well when someone doesn't feel like as confident to say something, and I might do that.
Right.
Right. But also, I'm left sometimes feeling like, who the fuck does that person think they are? Like, I'm like so
course.
shocked by that. So again, like, then I'm like thinking about it, right?
Of course. And
like,
that's
why am I
energy.
thinking about like it should just be on them? So that's something that I think like I need to like
I mean,
learn
it
a little
should be
more
on
about.
them, but like the truth is we're all in this world,
Yeah.
like we are all connected,
Yeah.
even if we don't want to be.